Hi, welcome back to the January House. This is Mike. Thanks for checking in. A few things that I wanted to talk to you about today. One is a few videos ago, I talked about how I was trying to expand my international shipping options, and I'll put a link to that video here, by using Pirate Ship's simple export rate. And I had sold this G.I. Joe accessory that actually is utilizing this simple export rate through Pirate Ship, and it's going to Brazil. I sold it on April 30th, and I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update because one of the features that the simple export rate program states is that it has door-to-door tracking. So I sold it on April 30th, and I could see it went all the way to Brazil until May 8th. May 8th was the last tracking update I've gotten for it. It left Sao Paulo, Brazil on May 8th. Now, the customer lives in Brazil, so hopefully it's not too much longer until it actually gets delivered to the customer in Brazil. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on where we were with that. So far so good with the program. I've gotten tracking information along the way until May 8th. So that is the last information I have. I'll keep you guys updated in future videos. Next, I've gotten a few questions on some vintage pencil sales that I've had lately that I've shown in my videos. One question is, how did you get started selling vintage pencils? Could you tell us more about that? And the other question is, how do you know if a pencil is vintage, and how do you know if it's worth money? So I thought I'd take the time to try to answer those questions here in this video. First, let me say, I am no expert on pencils by any means. So all of the information I'm about to give you has come with just my own personal knowledge and research. So please, if I misspeak, then I apologize in advance, but I just wanted to get that out there. I'm no expert. So how I got started was about 1.5 years ago, I watched a YouTube video, kind of like this one, where I forget who it was, but the gentleman was showing his sales, and one of his sales was a lot of colored pencils, and he sold it for like 20 bucks. And, it was like pencils that artists use, like, not Crayola, but a better brand than Crayola. But I thought, that's something different. And I always try to look for different things to sell. I mean, everyone is always looking for, video games or G.I. Joe toys or Pokemon cards or whatever. And I try to sometimes look for different things that I can keep an eye out for that will make money as well. So I filed that information away in my brain. And one day last summer, I was at a yard sale, and there was this older lady selling a number of items. And she had a big cup of pencils on the table. And I think she was selling them for like 10 cents a piece or 20 cents a piece. So I was there trying to pick through and get all the colored ones out, red ones and green ones and yellow. And I'm picking through, and it starts raining just a little bit, right? It started raining. And the lady looks at me and she goes, "How about I just sell you the whole cup for $3? And there was maybe 80 pencils in there, 90 pencils. And I said, okay, sounds good. So I bought the whole cup of 80 or 90 pencils for $3. And I brought them home, and I started doing research, and I sold a few, and I made some money. That's how I got started selling vintage pencils, I guess, if you will. So that was last year's sale. So this year I was at an estate sale. And I think you're probably going to find pencils more so in an estate sale versus a yard sale, at least vintage ones, I would think. So I was at an estate sale earlier in the year, and I came across this. I've showed this in a previous video. This is a shoebox, and at the time was full of pencils, okay? And I think it was even half price day. It was the last day of the estate sale. I think the good thing about trying to find vintage pencils in an estate sale is that if there is an office area or a desk, and the estate sale company has priced the items, usually they will go and pull out like the collectible fountain pens. Fountain pens can sell for a lot of money as well. But if they aren't priced, or you see some fountain pens, pick those up as well, because some of those can sell for good money too. But I think the pens are, people always know about the pens and how they sell. But I think the pencils end up going most of the time into a big box like this. And then they weren't rubber band, they were just loose. They were all loose in here, all different ways, and I organized them and put them together, and I've been selling them in lots. But I think at an estate sale, the company will just throw them all in a box and put a price on it and just hope for the best, right? And that's where I think you can make your money selling vintage pencils. buy in bulk, right? Try to buy a lot of them like I did at the yard sale. I kind of got lucky that it started raining, and the lady probably just wanted to get rid of them anyway, so she sold me that whole cup for $3. I bought this whole shoebox that was full at the time for $8, okay? And on this sale of $8 pencils, I've already made $83 in gross sales, and I still have, I think, 5 listings up right now, and I have the rest of the shoebox to list too. So obviously I'll do very well on this lot. But even if I didn't, $3 purchase at a yard sale isn't going to break me, and $8 purchase at an estate sale isn't going to break me either. So try to buy in bulk, and obviously try to get it for the lowest price you can, keeping in mind that the people at the yard sale or the estate sale probably just want to get rid of them. So if you make them a reasonable offer, I'm sure they'll probably accept it. And how do I know they're vintage? Well, so the answer is I don't, or I didn't, and I know a little bit of information now. For the reselling business that I have, I don't specialize in one specific product. I try to have a broad range of products, and therefore I try to have a broad knowledge of products. And I'm always willing to learn new things or go a little bit deeper into a product line if I know it's going to make me a little bit more money. So that being said, I know a little bit about a lot of things, just enough to keep me dangerous so that I sell items. So here's some knowledge that I've gained in my time selling vintage pencils. Again, I'm no expert, all right? But basically there's 2 types of pencils. There's advertising pencils and there's brand name pencils, okay? So advertising we'll tackle first. That's the easy one, right? So that's just literally, an advertisement or marketing item that was put on a pencil. And I think for the most of the older ones that you'll find, it's literally just a company name and a slogan, and that's all you're going to see. Sometimes you might have an address back in the day, and maybe some of the newer ones will have added a phone number to it, but those are advertising pencils. So old Pepsi pencils, advertisement, or maybe political, like vote for Kennedy or whoever. These were ways to get the word out about your business or maybe your political candidate or whatever. So those are the advertisement ones. I haven't really sold any advertising pencils. Right now I have a lot of McDonald's pencils from the 70s that came in Happy Meals, and I lotted them together, but they haven't sold yet. So maybe I just don't have the right brand advertising pencil to sell. But those are some types of advertising pencils. The other types of pencils, which is what I have sold and what these are in the shoebox here, are brand name pencils, okay? So obviously, like anything else, there's bigger brand names of pencils. And most of the time, I believe these pencils were sold to, say, artists, people sketching things or coloring things, artists. Or maybe architects, before computers, all of that was done by hand. And there was different pencils for, different things, higher end pencils. Mechanical pencils are obviously very valuable as well, but even the wood ones, there was different brands and different thicknesses and what have you. So some of the brand names that I've sold so far to be on the lookout for, and I'll put some pictures up here of their names, are Dixon, Eberhard Faber, Blaisdell. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right, but here's what it looks like. American Pencil Company, Eagle, and I'm sure there's some others, okay? So, and I can usually tell by the script, the pencil looks old. It looks like it has some wear to it or usage maybe, even if it's a new unsharpened pencil. It just doesn't look like it came out of a box recently, right? And then along with brand names, there's also, like, say, models. I don't know what they're really called, but so Dixon, for example, has a Ticonderoga pencil, okay? Eberhard Faber has a Blackwing pencil. So there's brand names with models. So some of those are worth more on the model line than others. Those are some examples of some of the higher end vintage pencils, and I'm sure there's some more that I haven't gotten into yet. So again, I'm still learning as I go here. Another way you can tell a vintage pencil is by the part that holds the eraser to the pencil is actually called a ferrule. F-E-R-R-U-L-E. Ferrule? F-E-R-R-U-L-E. So it's this piece right here, okay? Now this is a new pencil. And you can see it's bright and shiny. The ferrule is metal, okay? But during the war, that metal was used for the war effort. So you can tell sometimes they went to plastic ferrules. And then for the war effort, they also started to appropriate the erasers, which were made out of rubber back in the day. So sometimes you'll see a pencil without a ferrule or an eraser, like this one. Or maybe it's just all ferrule, like elongated ferrule here, like this one. So that can be key. Some of these older things can be key. No eraser, longer ferrules, plastic ferrules. That's a good indicator of a vintage pencil as well. That's all I have pretty much on my pencils, vintage pencils. That's how I got into them. That's kind of what I look for brand names and what the look of the pencil is. And I try to buy in bulk, and I try to buy for as least amount as I can. And then I'll lot them up, put them together by brand name or type, and sell them in lots. And I'll take offers because I'm usually into like this whole box for $8. So I've already made my money 10 times over. So I'm not afraid to sell them. I ship them first class. I pack them really good in bubble wrap, and I usually put some cardboard around them and in a poly mailer, and so far so good, no problems. All right, I do have a few things shipping out today so that I'd like to show you as well. First are two Warhammer figures. This is a Orc Mob Biker, painted already, that I sold on Mercari for $10. And I have this Orc Killa Cans figure, and Killa is K-I-L-L-A, and Cans is K-A-N-S. So you know it's cool when it's Killa Cans with a K figure. I sold that one for $20. So together I sold these two figures for $30 to the same person, free shipping on Mercari. I also sold these Nike women's size 7.5 low top sneakers. These are the Oscar the Grouch color variation. Pre-owned, but decent condition. Storage locker find, cost me about $4 a pair. Sold it for $30, free shipping on Bonanza. Does anyone sell them Bonanza? Do you know what Bonanza is? That's where I sold them, Bonanza. And then finally, I just sold, in the middle of this video, this Ecorns lounge chair on OfferUp for $125 cash. Got this at an estate sale for $60 like 2 years ago. And it has been up in my room holding up clothes, a big pile of clothes, for a long time. And finally sold it, $125 cash, no fees, on OfferUp. And that's all I have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Do you sell on Bonanza? Do you know what Bonanza is? Did I answer your questions on vintage pencils properly? Leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more great videos. Thanks.